Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to AWS Community Day. Thanks for everyone joining the session today, and welcome. Just a little bit about me. So I think those of you joined, you already aware. So I'm part of a global lead on various community groups. Thanks for joining again. I know I can see some couple of them are like repetitive participants. I appreciate that. My name is Madhu Kumar Yeluri, Principal Cloud Architect, T-Systems. So I have 20 years IT experience over multiple regions where I work with Asia, Middle East, US, Europe, and UK. My main focus is basically on helping customers transforming the business using digital transformation and using the power of cloud. Yeah, so mainly focus on Amazon Web Services. So I have a team of AWS architects here based in Budapest, where I manage. If you want to know more about me, please feel free to follow me on LinkedIn and join me on Discord Container Builders. Thank you. This half of the session, basically, I would like to cover, what ML services we have on AWS, and basically how you can start with, what they do, those kind of aspects. All right. So first, before we jump into AWS services, let's see what is it? Yeah. So what's AI? What's ML? Let's get into on a high level, like you probably heard this technology is described in a number of ways. So let's take a step back to level set and what they are. So basically, AI is a way to describe any system that can replicate tasks that previously required human intelligence. So almost always, this is related to some kind of a complex decision making where human judgment would require. Most cases for AI are looking for probabilistic outcome. So making a prediction or classification or decision with a high degree of certainty, similar to human judgment. So almost all the AI systems today are created using machine learning. Machine learning uses large amounts of data to create a validate additional logic. Like Attila explained in his previous sessions, yeah. So there are a lot of learning, machine learning happening in those data, the fulfillment centers, how they operate, how they analyze those, to fulfill an order. So it's kind of a similar logic. So AI system basically then feeds into the input data into that model, and the model outputs human-like predictions or classifications. So machine learning is basically AI systems. Underlying technology is powered by this intelligent systems. So AI is basically more of on a top level. So if you see machine learning is just basically a subset of it, where you can't achieve AI without machine learning. Yeah. So right now, machine learning is the primary method for creating AI systems. So similarly, machine learning can also be used for more than artificial intelligence, but just a majority of them are machine learning and AI related. And we also have another subset, which is deep learning. This type of machine learning that uses a technique known as deep neural networks. I think, so Elon Musk and all these guys are already working on this neural, AI aspects of it. You might have heard. Yeah, this is something, new, and we have a lot of learning to do there as well. So these systems basically replicate how the human brain functions, and this lets AI systems to address more complex use cases than was previously possible. So that's on a high level. So what's AI, ML, and deep learning? So let's check what we got for ML Stack in AWS. So we see the machine learning stack having three key layers here. So in the bottom layer, as you can see, are the frameworks and infrastructures for those are comfortable building and maintaining their own ML platforms and underlying infrastructure. The middle layer is basically, Attila also mentioned about SageMaker. They use a lot on machine learning. It's more of, make it easy for machine learning developers and data scientists to build, train, and deploy the machine learning models in a single click. Yeah, so SageMaker does that magic inside. So in addition to the IDE, so it's basically an IDE within AWS service, so you can just basically log in and do all those machine learning models. But it will also have features and available through various APIs that integrates with other services. On the top layer, if you can see, that's more like AI services that allow all the developers to use pre-trained and auto-trained models to add intelligence to any applications without machine learning expertise. So, which means one of these services which you pick up is already trained. Amazon manages it, and you can use that service to integrate within your application and utilize that AI service. So yeah, let's stick to on the top layer for now. So they've got this lot to learn. There's lots going on. So now at the top stack, right? So they serve developers and the companies who want to add solution-oriented intelligence in their application, like I explained before, through an API call. So rather than developing and training their own models in SageMaker, yeah. So it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. So AWS offers out-of-the-box AI services, which you basically can plug into your applications. And they also have a lot of services in this area to do a specific thing, like, for example, vision. So we have like a recognition image or video. So tell me what is this image? Yeah, kind of, which celebrities are there in this image? And yeah, is it image safe for work? Stuff like that. They also have speech-related ones like Poly and Transcribe, so which I'm going to show you in the next slides, and just try to do a quick short demo on it as well. If you want to turn the text into speech, they have Poly, and if you want to transcribe audio, they have Transcribe. Similarly, text, translate, comprehend, or extract. So what it does, it translates the text into different languages. They have like translate, and if you want to understand what's being said and translated, corpuses of the text, you have comprehend. So basically, it analyze extracted text, and then basically, yeah, it gives you a nice fancy output. And then you have things that which Amazon is, relatively famous for, Alexa and chatbots with Lex personalization and forecasting. I think Attila also mentioned about this forecasting. They made it, available for all the customers. Initially, they started this service to forecast their fulfillment and those aspects. So customers are also asked on how they basically continue to consider adding services around these areas. So there's a lot of experience and the data from Amazon customer businesses, and they basically bring that to they listen to the customers and they bring the requirements and make this service probably to help the Amazon customers to come up with this interactive services. They also have AWS Fraud Detector, so it helps do fraud management service for detecting online, identity and payment fraud in real time. It basically can plug it into your online payment system or something. So no machine learning experience is required. And for developers, like for the developers community, they also have CodeGuru, which is a new machine learning service to automate code reviews and identify your most expensive line of code. Yeah. And Contact Lens for Amazon Contact provides machine learning powered contact center analytics, and also Kendra is a new service which reinvents enterprise search with machine learning. That's on a high level. I don't want to go on more detail on every single one of them, but I just would like to show you a few where I can also show quickly a demo there how it works on the demo page. So let's take a deep dive on the Amazon Comprehend. It basically uses a natural language processing to abstract insights about content of the document. So on Amazon Comprehend also processes any text file which is in a specific format, UTF-8 format, and it develops the insights by recognizing the entities, key phrases, language, sentiments. I'll just show you when you type in happy. So basically it will say positive, or if you're sad, it's a negative sentiment. So I will show you those aspects. So it's also it uses to create products based on understanding the structure of the document. So for example, Amazon Comprehend, yeah, you can search social networking feeds, yeah, so for mentioning of products, or scan the entire document repository for key phrases and stuff like that. And on the other side, we have the AWS Amazon Translate. So this service is basically a neural machine translation service, and that delivers fast, high quality, affordable language translation. It's more like, you can compare with a Google Translate from one language to another. I will also just show you how that looks in when we're doing it. But yeah, it also basically uses a deep learning models to deliver more accurate and more natural sounding translation than traditional statistical rule-based translation algorithms. So it's more allows you to localize as well the content based on which region you belong and how you want to translate it. There's a lot of options I'll show you in the demo. But yeah, so let me bring Comprehend here. So quickly refresh. So this Amazon Comprehend, like just kind of like a player where you can just basically use. I'm just using it for demo today. So as you can see, if I say happy, so this I just wanted to say not the whole text, but I just basically want to show you how it analyzes in the background and gives you a sentiment. Okay, it's a positive sentiment. And if I say sad, and it's a negative sentiment here. So in the behind the scenes, it uses all this NLP, and then it gives you an insight on extract this way. And similarly, if you go on Translate, I just wrote some text already here, so I just translate. So for example, hello everyone, thanks for joining AWS Community Day today. And you can see it's translated in Hungarian. I don't want to say that and mess up, but yeah, you can also change it to French if you like. So as you can see, it's nice and easy. So behind the scenes, again, it uses neural machine translation service, and it's pretty fast also, as you can see. So just Hindi, there you go. It's pretty fast actually. So yeah, so that's Comprehend and Amazon Translate. So this is interesting actually, Amazon Recognition, yeah. So what it does, it makes it easy to basically add image and video analysis. So probably this is a service they also use to in the fulfillment centers to recognize the labels or scanning to some extent, maybe, I don't know. But what this is exactly it. So it basically adds image or video analysis to your applications, where if you it's out of the box application service you can use. You just provide an image or video to the Amazon Recognition API, and the service can identify objects, people, text, scenes, and activities. It can detect any inappropriate content as well. So for content management, for social media sites and stuff like that, to censor and keep the content right. You can detect, analysis, and compare faces for a wide variety of use cases, including user verification, cataloging, people counting, and public safety. It's really very useful service, I would say. So I'll just show you how it basically looks like. Let's go back to the demo page again. So here, as you can see, my screen, I'll just pick up my phone and I'll try to, maybe let's refresh the page. So it's just down. So I will just show the mobile phone here. And I say detect. And let's see what it does. So as you can see here, so 99.9% is mobile phone, cell phone, yeah. You see, so person is me standing here, and it also recognizes the photography in the background, photo, portrait, yeah, interior design, yeah, plant. It's amazing, right? So it analyzes the whole picture of the thing, and the results are very fast. So let's just do another one, like, let's see, I hold a glass and see what happens. There you go. You see, so person, human, I don't know where dating came from, but glass, drinking, yeah. So yeah, it's kind of, and it also tells you how much percentage accurate. So now it's 94% accurate, yeah. So jar was, yeah, yeah, it's pretty useful. So there is a nice service. I would definitely use it for, yeah, recognizing images and analyzing your images and integrate with your applications. I've done POCs for myself, so yeah, that's a fake plan, by the way. But yeah, I think, yeah, but it still recognizes, yeah. Cool. So that's recognition on service. I'll just go to, yeah, Poly, Amazon Poly. Again, is a cloud-based service that converts text to real life, speech for kind of people who are basically, you can basically use Poly to develop applications that increases the engagement and accessibility for the people who have, accessibility requirements. And Poly also supports multiple languages that includes a variety of lifelike voices. I'll just show you a demo if hopefully it works. So you can build like a speech enable application that work with multiple locations, yeah, and use the ideal voice for your customers. So with Poly, you can also use, pay as you text, you synthesize, so it's easy for your costing, and you can also cache your replay Amazon generate, Poly generated speech, and it with no additional cost. You also have Transcribe, which basically uses advanced machine learning technologies to recognize speech in audio files and then and transcribe them into text. So you basically say something and then basically converts your text and you download that file, or you basically summarize in your text. So it's more like, transcribe medical services where, it's very popular and back in those days to transcribe their special transcribers of people sitting next to their medical centers where they can basically translate this as prescriptions, and as well all the way yeah, you can use Transcribe to convert audio to text and to create your application that incorporate the content to audio files. So for example, you can transcribe the audio track from a video recording to close the captioning for video, so it will convert the text. So let's see if I can show you how it works. Hopefully it does. Okay, so that's the Amazon Poly. Let's refresh it. Okay, so I can choose, which engine I would like to use, neural or standard. You can also choose a voice. As you can see, there are multiple accents you can also use, French, German, English, Indian, British. So I use, okay, English, British, just an example. I type the text. Hello, everyone. Welcome to AWS community event. Hungary. So let's see how the Poly will do the magic.
Hello everyone, welcome to AWS community event, Hungary.
There you go. So yeah, so it works, So you can basically use this for your application, As I said, it nicely integrates and it also, you need to check the cost on this, how you works, but I think most of the cash ones for your application, they don't charge you for additional cost and stuff like that. But it's amazing. So let's try another one. Maybe I'll try. Do we have? Okay, it's just Polish. I don't know. I can find the Hungarian GH in the. Let's do Romanian, maybe, or Spanish. Let's see.
Hello everyone, welcome to AWS community event, Hungary.
So this is basically mimicking the same like in English, but using the local, Mexican Spanish accent or something like that. Yeah. So this is clever behind the scene that basically they uses that process. Yeah. So yeah. They just basically translated into in Russian as well. So that's Polly. Glad that worked. I would like to jump into the fraud detector. This is another very good service where it's building precise machine learning models to detect any fraudulent online activities that requires machine learning expertise or fraud domain knowledge. Yeah, so mainly on, I don't know, banking, finance, any detection, even in media. So fraud teams basically often lack in-house ML experts, and are left borrowing basically developers, data scientists, which needs more resources, more skills in-house. So basically, this is the service which you would like to look for, Amazon Fraud Detector. You can the fraud teams are basically forced to rely on rule-based systems, which are expensive, manual fraud reviews, a lot of human investigations and analytics, and it takes a lot of time. So based on expertise from over like 20 years of detecting fraud on Amazon.com, basically Amazon came up with this service. Basically, they integrated all that experience and what they detected on Amazon.com and built this service. So fraud detector basically provides customers with tailor-made fraud detection ML models for online events, such as like e-commerce orders or account registrations and stuff like that. And customers simply upload the data to train a fraud detection ML model and configure additional logic. So you can basically create your rules, and you can define all that from the customer's side. And also it boosts the model performance by learning from both the customer's historical fraud data and also from the past attempts of defraud Amazon. So it's pretty useful service, I would say. So let's move on to Amazon CodeGuru. This would be interesting for the dev community because we spend a lot of time coding, we spend a lot of time reviewing, peer reviewing in GitLab, Git pipelines, run is what we do. So another area that AWS is making our life easy is by introducing ML into DevOps workflows. So today DevOps workflow still requires a lot of human interaction. For example, you raise a pull request, you review the code, it has some cycles here, implementation cycles, or manual analysis of large amount of data. It's time consuming, and the impact of serious when lack of early code reviews leads to outages or customer issues. So what value is CodeGuru adding? So it basically starts to address this by proactively recommending how to remediate the issues across the source code by running applications. So it basically does that for you, and then when you come up with the recommendations here. And it's the first fully managed service that AWS claims that it helps proactively improve the code quality and optimize performance. And CodeGuru also leverages machine learning models behind the scenes, and best practices informed by years of experience and data from Amazon.com again. And AWS find a wide-ranging issues in source code, such as use of unsanitized inputs, inappropriate handling of sensitive data, threat safety issues, and deviation from AWS best practices. So CodeGuru basically includes automated code reviews with intelligent recommendations that even junior staff can follow. Code review seamlessly integrate with the pull request workflow or perform anytime on demand. So I can explain to you, if you have Git runners, existing Git pipelines as part of your CI/CD pipeline, so you can basically integrate seamlessly with them. Detection and optimization of most expensive line of code, and immediate identification of application inefficiencies running in a production. So that's really useful. especially when you're dealing with application code and stuff like that. So yeah, so this is very useful for the dev community, I would say. So this is all good. So you heard about a lot of fancy services. So you're thinking maybe back of your mind, where do I start, right? So where do you start about this ML journey? How you learn? How it going to be fun for you? Fun. What's the fun factor of it? So what they did, right? So they came up with this Amazon Deep Racer. So it's basically, and yeah, other toys, as you can see. Yeah, but how to get started with ML? If you haven't built any ML skills in the past, or if you have no idea how to build your ML talent on your organization, so I would say, yeah. So this is the place where AWS put a lot of skill levels to get started on with machine learning. So we have created a portfolio of educational devices to help put new machine learning techniques into the hands of developers in unique and fun ways. Yeah, so that's what AWS says. So AWS Deep Lens, AWS Deep Racer, and AWS Deep Racer League, and AWS Deep Composer. So AWS Deep Racer basically provides developers to get started with reinforcement learning. I will show you in a bit. Deep Lens gets you started with deep learning and computer vision. So that Attila touched a little bit on it. And the Deep Composer joins the family to bring new generative AI, slated to be the biggest advantage in AI in the last 10 years. So that's probably you can start. There's also a lot of MLA in training. It's offered by AWS itself. I will show you the links on skills, and they also just a quick more on Deep Racer because I personally like it. So I'm also doing a POC on it as part of our Cloud Hub innovation. So I'm learning as I build. So the beauty of this is basically if you are MLAI enthusiast, you would like to learn. Yeah, it motivates you to go a step by step process. Yeah, you build you first configure the car. You basically manually move the car around. Yeah, there's the Deep Racer which you'll see in the picture, and then slowly jump into your machine learning journey. So play with some machine learning models. I'm trying to build a mini series of this Deep Racer in the community events. I will basically publish or add those videos or add those events and invite you guys as well, invite the community. But yeah, it's just a kind of like a motivation where if you're interested to learn, this is a fun way to learn with Deep Racer. They also do a live race leagues actually. I think it happened a few months ago, and the winners basically go live and they do it in Vegas in the reInvent as well. There's and I would say yeah. So that's a fun way to learn on the Deep Racer topic, and with that, I will just conclude on that. There are a lot of other ML topics on AWS, of course, but I think today, for the time benefit, I would just keep it to that way. Unmute yourself and ask me any questions you might have.
This is Tamas speaking. I would like to know how the data security and data privacy concerns are handled here. I think that's a very interesting part of for instance, providing documents and providing speech or any data whatsoever.
Absolutely. So any AWS service basically you use AWS, stress on shared responsibility model, and the part of that shared responsibility model on security or responsibilities, the security in the cloud is basically, AWS take care about all this service. So the service itself comes with some SLAs, some commitment to what you're using. That includes security as well. But as part of your customer responsibility of whoever using it, so you also have shared responsibility to basically, encrypt the data at rest when you're using the service or data in transit. How would you do that? That's part of your application architecture design, right? But AWS also helps you to integrate nicely on by offering key management service, ACM, certificate manager, for you for that purpose as well. But service itself, what they offer out of the box, would be secure or as per the AWS standards. But anything related to your application, that integration using their APIs, it should be a shared responsibility model. And also, I'll share this documentation of the services. So there's a section called security for every service they offer, and there's a detailed section on how they basically encrypt the data or what customers' responsibility is to data, to make it more secure. So every service have this section on security, and they clearly explain how you basically can achieve that for that service. So it helps you in your application architecture. I will provide you those links as well. Does that answer, Thomas? Thank you. Yeah, that's a good question. Security is obviously paramount for AWS and T-Systems. So when we design internally for our customers, yeah, it's we take that into consideration.
I'm Madhu speaking. Nice
Thank you.
presentation. Thank you for that. As we spoke about security, maybe we should also speak about legal stuff like data, where the data is sitting when we are using these services. Do we have, are these regional services? Will, I don't know, our text which we are translating leave the region? For example, if we need to fulfill some regulatory compliances.
Yeah, that's a good question. Also, that would be part of data privacy. So part of any APIs you're using, obviously there will be an obligatory statement on data privacy side for that service. So we can go in detail there, but on a high level, I think any data that's coming as part of your application, you generating it, you have to make sure that you encrypt the data where you store and your responsibility. If anything that's on the AWS side behind the scenes, I think probably that would be within the AWS infrastructure backbone. It won't be visible. It won't be going by Does that make sense? So any data basically it generates, it would be part of your application, how you configure your data. But anything on the API side, I think the service itself, if you're using out of the box, anything on that service, like for example, CodeGuru or these services, which I said, that would be, they will make it clear how they organize, how they basically use these services. It will be in the documentation very clearly. The out of the box services. But good question. We also help the customers basically on the data privacy. So we have kind of a lot of other security aspects where we can also help when it comes to data privacy or security. So we have dedicated team working with AWS on not just MLAI, but in general. So we can also help you guys to understand more better on that aspects. But good question. I'm just learning all the services, by the way. So I'm no means any expert. I'm also AI ML enthusiastic, so I'm doing some small POCs, play with some Raspberry Pis and stuff like that. So I'm learning myself.
Csaba again. Any interesting project inside of telecom on AWS with
of course.
machine learning?
I mean, not just particular to AWS. And within the telecom, we have this, as you know, the innovation hub, Cloud. So what we're doing here, we're utilizing a lot of AI ML aspects into our how we basically do this. Bring that to customer value, bring customer value of using these technologies. So part of that is just not limited to AWS. We have a broad range of tools. We're slowly building up some infrastructure, and we would like to showcase to our customers how we basically like for example some of the aspects you see, face recognition one, the deep racer, we have a Lego racer, those aspects. So basically we have some showcases that we're working on within the telecom as well. I mean, especially here in Budapest, we have a cloud hub.
Thank you.
I was planning to do some Kahoot or something, but I was just basically worried if it works. I had to do a quiz and then do it, but yeah. So where can we, there's another question here. So where can we see the DPRESS project unfolding? Yes. Talking to our AWS community managers from AWS to basically get some support there. And then probably we would like to, unfold that. We'll just give it to the audience and we will, I will see. I need some support there from some of the DPRESS team. So I'm just talking to AWS team there. And probably we will create some mini series on how we build the DPRESS, how we basically work with the, this will be part of the community events. This will be part of the community events where we will basically do some sessions on ML AI, and then basically we demonstrate that on the DPRESS. So is that answered this one? Yeah, it's not either that it looks when you go into deep on machine learning models and loading and making it work, because it also needs some a basic infrastructure like tracks with a certain requirements. Yeah, so working with the playing around with this ML models and then load it back and see. So it needs a little bit of effort to learn for sure. So yeah. But I think we can, I'm planning to at least get that machine learning working, and then basically, maybe we'll record the sessions, or we record some videos, and then basically come to the community back and present it back, how it happened. So you don't have to struggle, and it makes your life easy to learn as well. So that's the intention. It's not a struggle actually, but it's kind of learning. Yeah, it's learning, part of learning. I'm just waiting for if there's any other questions. If not, I would just place my LinkedIn here, so you can just always get in touch with me here. I also run a Discord channel on containers, so feel free to join as well. So, but we'll send basically email with the meetup group, I guess. Any other questions? In that case, I would like to thank a few of our folks here who worked really hard yesterday to set up all the infrastructure here for me. So thanks, Esteban. He's behind the scenes. He really worked hard, very hard, and made this event really successful. Thanks, Camila, for organizing all that. Thanks, Esther. Yeah, thanks everyone. I don't want to miss any names, but yeah, thanks for the whole innovation team. Thanks, Harpy. It's a great support, tremendous effort from you guys to make it successful. So thank you, all of you there. And thanks for the AWS community from, community program manager, Carissa. So Emilia, program manager, Maria. So thanks for your support. Thanks, Attila, for joining us today as well. Yeah, he's really busy. So he made it really thankful for him for joining us today and making the event very interactive, and he holds the audience. So I always like that session. So I will bring him back again if you guys are really interested to know more about this innovation, and we can deep dive. Please keep those comments and the feedback so I can bring more talented people to share the knowledge to the community. So with that, thank you everyone. I will end the event here. I will share all the details after the event. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.